Have you ever wondered how to avoid embarrassing yourself in an argument? Do you want to win the argument without coming across rude or, even worse, a jerk? People like Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris are excellent argument winners, and we'll show you how to do the same in this video, so make sure you watch till the end. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First up, how do we identify conversational bullies? We've all been in a conversation and felt attacked because we started talking about one thing and then the other person twisted our words, and before we knew it, we'd lost our cool and maybe even acted like a jerk. Have you ever wondered how to deal with someone who uses subtle conversational tricks to make you look dumb? The first step to dealing with such is identifying them during conversations. To stop a conversational bully, you must first recognize what is going on before it's too late. A person's aggressive attitude is typically revealed early on through their tone of voice or word choice, so you must ensure to listen attentively so you can easily spot them. So how do you avoid embarrassing yourself in an argument? Now, we will be showing you how to walk out of an argument with more respect than you had to go in. Keep watching to see how Jordan Peterson handles them. To begin with, ensure to stay on topic. What's more annoying than arguing with someone who can't stay on topic? This is a standard error among novice debaters. They are so focused on proving their opponent wrong. As a result, they redirect the discussion in absurd directions. The point here is to stay on the topic even if you think you're losing an argument. You'll not only avoid embarrassing yourself, but you'll also make the experience less frustrating for everyone involved. Secondly, keep cool. Even the most insignificant argument can create a lot of commotion. When people butt heads over something they are passionate about, expect things to get a little heated, but also expect people to make mistakes. The simple truth is that our emotions cause us to be reckless. They are practical tools, but your feelings significantly impact your behavior. You may raise your voice and use more aggressive and accusatory language, and you are more likely to say things you will come to regret. So, what is the solution or way out? Staying calm under pressure is the best thing you can do, but it's much more complicated than it sounds, especially when the debate becomes personal. Even the best debaters would become emotional if the topic became too personal. So what can you do to stay calm, cool, and collected? Okay, the next time you feel emotional, take a step back and physically remove yourself from the situation. Change your seating or standing position, or get some water. It makes no difference what you do as long as it interrupts the flow of conversation. Even a minor change may be enough to shake you out of it. Sometimes it's not always possible to make a physical change. In that case, simple relaxation and posture changes can help you maintain calm. For example, do not lean forward or begin waving your hands at your opponent. Instead, sit back in your chair, relax your shoulders, and avoid tensing your body. This relaxed posture will throw off your opponent and prevent your emotions from taking over. Up next, should you admit you don't know? The last thing you want to do in the middle of an argument is to admit defeat. However, acknowledging that you don't know or are unsure of will not prevent you from making matters worse. For example, assume you're arguing with someone about computers, perhaps about whether Macs are better than PCs. You've been at it for a while, so you're starting to run out of points, but your opponent isn't going away anytime soon, so you get desperate. And instead of giving in, you invent something. It sounds like a good idea in your head, but once you say it out loud, you realize how foolish you sound. But you can't go back in time and pretend that you didn't say anything. So you have two options: admit that you made something up or stick to your guns. In either case, you will almost certainly end up embarrassing yourself. So don't put yourself in a position to fail. If you're at a loss for words, it's time to admit you don't know. Yes, I understand how frustrating that sounds, but it's not as bad as you think. Saying I don't know usually leads to an abrupt and unexpected conclusion to the argument. It's almost as if we just agreed to disagree. Even if you don't win the argument, you manage to escape without embarrassment, which isn't too shabby in our opinion. Don't you think so? Coming up next, should you let them finish? Your mind is probably racing at 1,000,000 miles per hour during an argument. You're brainstorming new examples to use or coming up with new ways to prove your opponent wrong. And when your next brilliant idea strikes you, you can't wait to unleash it on the battlefield. So you do what countless debaters do all the time. Instead of waiting for your opponent to finish, you start talking, interrupt, raise your voice, and explain expect your opponent to sit back and listen. Of course, interrupting is a great way to get those racing thoughts out of your head, but that's about it. To begin with, interrupting is impolite. How can you expect your opponent to engage in civil discourse with you if you refuse to let them finish? You're not arguing with them if you constantly bombard them with new points. Instead, you are berating them, and that means no one, including your opponent, will take you seriously. However, that is not the only reason you should keep your mouth shut. When you make it a habit to interrupt others, you end up hurting your argument. When you come up with a new idea, take a moment to consider it to see if it fits with your view. When you interrupt, however, you are simply blurting things out. You are so focused on being heard that you're missing the actual points you're making. So how can you avoid conversational bullies? You may occasionally argue with someone determined to make you look bad. Unfortunately, they might be more interested in proving you wrong than proving themselves right. A conversational bully is someone like this. They are the ones who paint you in the most negative light possible. They are the ones who twist your words and make it appear as if you're saying horrible things. Conversational bullies will even attack your character simply because they disagree with you. Up next, how do you handle conversational bullies? So how do you avoid embarrassment when a bully starts tearing you apart? Avoiding conflict is the best thing you can do. Make sure you don't raise your voice, don't let them know you're getting emotional, and don't let them get under your skin. Conversational bullies frequently use a technique that trips up amateur debaters. This technique is known as "so you're saying," and it's pretty simple. A bully will reframe your ideas after you've made your point in a way that sounds similar but significantly worse. And the vast majority of time, people fall right into their trap. They begin to stumble to defend their argument, not realizing that the bully has altered what they are saying. Then they end up arguing for a distorted version of their original idea and may unintentionally support things that they don't believe in. So if you come across someone who puts words in your mouth, don't let them win. Inform them that they are misrepresenting or oversimplifying your message. Then repeat yourself calmly. Lastly, how can you abandon ship? No matter how much you want to do the right thing, an argument can devolve into a lose-lose situation. You may not know the subject under discussion, or the person with whom you are arguing may be attempting to make you look bad. If you are in this type of adverse situation, don't feel obligated to stay. You are not required to take part in an argument. On the other hand, if you walk away feeling embarrassed and annoyed, it's not worth your time. So instead of sinking with the ship, get out as soon as possible. Don't allow your opponent to bully you or force your own opinions on you. Instead, tell them you don't want to argue with them and walk away. If you take this approach, remember to walk away from the start. The longer you claim, the more difficult it will be to leave, because leaving in the middle of an argument appears to be running away. Even if you're trying to get out of a bad situation, others will not see it that way, and your opponent will believe they have the upper hand. As a result, leave the room before the argument begins. If you can accomplish that, you have nothing to be ashamed of. Alright, that's it for today's video. Let us know what was the most annoying argument you've ever been in down in the comments section. Also, be sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming content. Thanks for watching.